Okay, so let's start the program. Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So I welcome you all on board across India, and we have our good friend from UK as well. Thank you so much for joining this program this Saturday afternoon as per Indian timing. And today's International Faculty Development Program is on lean philosophy in education. As we know that since last year, March, we all are passing through a difficult time due to COVID-19 situation. And experts and educationists are talking a lot about no quality management and lean philosophy in education so that we can no save the wastage and we can at least find out the ways for the financial as far as the financial part is concerned, the survival. Keeping that in mind, we thought why not to have an FDP on this particular theme, and we have with us. It's our great pleasure to have Mr. Avik Mitra, who is a renowned person in the quality management space, who worked in industry in top position, worked in ministry also, even in PMO office also on different projects. It's a great pleasure to have, and he was the former program advisor of Quality Circle of India. Thank you so much, sir, for your consent to be the mentor. No better we put it like this, and for this program. And we're looking forward to listen to you, learn from you. And I also request all the esteemed participants of this program, please share your views also at the end, because it's a collective learning process, as we know, and maybe different areas may not be touched upon during the process because of the time constraint. So if we can share our views at the same time, I think it would be holistic. And I'm sure that there will be multiple takeaways at the end of the program. Thank you so much once again, ladies and gentlemen. It's wonderful to have you all on board. So I request Mr. Avik Mitra sir to please kindly take over. Sir, please take over. Sir, you are unmuted. Please unmute yourself. You are muted now. Avik sir, please unmute yourself.
I hope so.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very much audible, sir. I can hear you, sir. Please continue, sir.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. And
Very good afternoon, sir.
and I must thank Professor Datta for giving us an opportunity to share our thoughts on a topic which we believe is relevant. And then we have friends here from mostly academic institutes and academic backgrounds. We also have a friend from abroad. So great. And we would today. I don't think we are that this should be it can't be a one-sided affair. We all should learn together, because these are subject matter, these are issues or challenges where all of us have experiences, and we bring those experiences and discuss. And maybe there is no solution. There is no in this type of interactions. There is no solutions. However,
Afternoon, sir. Who is this, sir? Yeah. Tell me, sir.
there is no solutions. However, we will open up our mind, and so that in this challenging times, tomorrow we have new ways of thinking or new ways of doing things, so that we remain competitive. Okay, with that background, let us start looking at a few words about our education sector, and then we will move into lean aspects of the lean philosophy in the context of education sector. Education sector per se in India is a large sector, which most of us know. They say, or it is a reality, that next to China, the education system in India is the largest in the world.
Okay, okay. I'll send you the link, sir.
And if you now try to look at some very quick glance of the education sector, maybe something like this. Is it visible? Hopefully it is visible.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The education sector at a glance. Just like any other countries, there is two major categories. One is the school system, another one is the higher education system. Many people are, and then there is also the informal sector and such, education sector and such. But let us, if we look at the importance always gives us through numbers. Now, they say that the broad estimate of number of educational institutes in our country is 1.5 million plus. That's a large number, and which includes everything, which includes, I think, both the higher education institutes as well as the school system, schools. As regarding the higher education, I personally recall, that in the state where I was doing the education, the engineering, how many universities were there? Hardly 3 or 4. And today, just imagine, there are more than 1,000 universities in this country. I also worked in a chamber, in a national chamber, and I do recall that everybody used to talk about that private sector should join. That was the time in which government used to control the entire education sector. Private sector should join, and there is a large number of opportunities of educational institutes to be opened up, and the opening started, and the pace and the speed at which the opening went on, it was amazing. So today we have thousands of universities and 54 central universities. This is also amazing in our country. We have so many classes on categories: central universities, state universities, deemed universities, private universities, universities of national importance. A challenge comes, we find out a solution, we find out a group, and like that it's happening. And we do have certain very excellent institutes, may not be the world's the best one, but they do occupy a very prominent place in the world, even like our IIMs. If at least a few IIMs and a few IITs, they are world class. And then many other institutes are also there, which are trying to improve their academic performance and trying to make a mark. Indian Institute of Science and such other institutes. Now we have autonomous colleges, we have directly under government institutes, and several such others. But the main issue, there are several issues now, challenges. And a prominent challenge that has come, especially after this pandemic, is across the world, how do we reduce our cost? Because the economy all over the world is now getting affected. It's quite natural that every sector will be affected, and it has been affected. When I look into the industrial sector, a large part of my career have been in the industrial sector, helping government. Well, we all know that there is a crisis there. We all hope that the crisis, humankind faces a crisis and then the challenges, and then we come out of it. That's the greatness of civilization. We keep on moving ahead. So we do hope that we will move ahead. But then till the time we are again back to normal, or back to maybe not only normal, we should be above normal, but that gap, that period, that is very critical, and we are passing through that period. Education is also passing through that period. Education also wants to find out opportunities and to retain their the efficiencies, to retain their competitiveness, if I use the word. And when we look at what are the challenges, several challenges. Challenge of enrollment, challenge of teacher satisfaction, challenge of student satisfaction, challenge of ensuring that the students' performance, students get admitted, and in the higher institutes, the challenge of getting employment, employability. That's another skill, employability, a very favorite topic when I was working in the government and in the chambers. Issue of funding, issue of quality, and issue of satisfaction, that is faculty satisfaction, staff satisfaction, student satisfaction, and several more things. We are now seeing many academic or especially professional institutes offering many professional new services they are being offered. Good, they are all good, and it will keep on happening. Just like the way in the if we go into the industrial market, we see the automotive industry, which is the engine of driving force for economy. We see all these great companies, automotive companies, they're coming out with many versions of new products. Just like that, education is also coming out with new products. Time to market is an issue, because the quicker you bring out the subject, offer a subject and say, here is something where students can come and join and improve their skills, be it data science, be it artificial intelligence, be it machine learning, and many other traditional subjects are no longer being looked into. Something like that is keeping on happening, and it will happen. It is not that this is good or bad. Nobody can make any comment. But at the back of everything, you must be able to survive, and you must be able to carry out your operation at a cost which is competitive. In other words, in simple words, in which you should be better than others. You should always look for every education institute is looking for opportunities how to just like the business side in the pure business, how to get more with less, more and more with less. That's what attracts everything. Now coming to lean, of course, is many of you are knowing it. Lean is now quite it didn't come in this century. It came into the last century, rather in the 80s and in the 90s. Two concepts came. Now they no longer belong to the quality field. They are in the management field now. The Six Sigma concept and the lean concept. Many people think that Six Sigma is an American concept because it evolved in Motorola and it evolved in made famous by GE. But actually, and the real growth, the Six Sigma was actually, which is the company which gave birth to Six Sigma, that is Motorola. And Motorola says that we actually we gave a shape to it, but we learned most of the things from Japan. And moment we say Japan, then comes the lean. In Japan, they never talked about lean. They talked about the Toyota production system. That was the system which Japan made. The world came to know the Toyota production system. And then we know there was a study, and then that study centered on the Toyota production system. And gradually, the world started listening to some few very interesting words like value, customer perception of value. And then such a couple of more words like value stream mapping, importance of process, all those things the world started listening to because a book was published by, by a gentleman known by the name Womack, and the name of the book is also equally attractive, The Machine That Changed the World. Engineers thought there is a wonderful machine he is talking about. Others said, oh, this must be something which is purely for industry people. But then moment the people looked into it, went through it, they realized that here is something, a totally new system of doing business or doing operations or doing any activity that has been talked about, which these gentlemen, they had learned after going to Japan and seeing their system. What did they learn? The essence is respect for people. The essence is remove all kinds of, now gentlemen, this is what the whole theme will be. Remove all kinds of waste. The moment we talk about waste in India or in in the Western countries, they thought that waste means, oh, we know, the scrap, the unwanted, the undesired matters, the goods or services, the services which are no longer required. Those are the waste. But here, something else were being mentioned. This typical classical waste, which now the world has very much practicing, that typical 7 or 8 classical waste. So the book did talk about that, and the business across the world, including sectors, various sectors, started talking about it. Of course, the first sector that talked about was manufacturing. In India, also the same scenario. Manufacturing talked about lean, and many people went through that. Womack became very, very famous name. After manufacturing, it was the time for. Can you guess which industry in India after manufacturing picked up those kinds of concepts, the simple waste removal, and in other words, the lean concept, and combine it with Six Sigma? Which industry after manufacturing in India picked up those concepts? And fast they picked up. That industry is very famous. It makes India known for that across the world. Which sector? Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
IT.
I can hear you.
IT. You say after manufacturing, the IT picked it up, and IT, and more specifically, the ITES, the BPO sector picked it up, and they did remarkable work. Okay, fine. Next, the next was the most interesting sector. That is the healthcare sector. In India, there may be several reasons why healthcare looked at it. In fact, when I was working in the organization where I worked last, I worked there for about 15, 16 years. It was Quality Council of India. We initiated that exercise. We had many boards. We had this NABH and other things also. We had many promotional activities. We used to work, and it's still working very closely with government. The healthcare sector came and said, we would like to do something. And it is the healthcare sector which picked up these practices. Now, where is education? After healthcare, the education sector started looking at improvement opportunities. Where can I improve? That became the focus point. We need to improve. They also realize, education sector also realize, we need to, it will be natural, no? Because the management institutes and other things which are coming, they all would like to improve. So they said, we would also like to improve, therefore, what are the available methods? Technology is always there. So beyond that, technology per se will facilitate improve. But why have any systemic support? And then they started looking at both lean as well as lean rather because it talked about waste reduction. And then today we have many. I won't say that it's like a movement that in the education and nothing of that sort. But then post-pandemic, organizations, especially educational organizations, higher education institutes, if they now start looking at, it's a very tough initiative, but then everything is tough. So you can't expect anything easy. There is nothing in the world easy. So you have to, if they look at it, well, they're going to get enormous benefits. That's assured. So it is in that background we were thinking, okay, let's do something. Today we will only see it's a bits and pieces of lean as applicable perhaps to the education sector. And then we should go back, we can start thinking, and these are not very rocket science, as we all know. These will be very practical, practice-oriented things. The only thing is that we should be committed. We should accept change. We should believe in change. We should make that simple concept that everything has to be looked into from the eyes of the customers. That itself is an enormously changing perception which we should build up. I mean, the leadership of the management team in any educational institute. So, with that background, let's little bit look at a lean. And lean basically, therefore, is waste elimination. And what do we call waste? Do we call the waste that is auctioned off? Well, they remain. They are physical, we can touch it, tangible waste. But there are several intangible waste. And when moment we talk about intangible, that intangible also has some tangibility. That's the greatness of Japan is looking of things in their own organization. That is intangible waste in the sense of time, touching time. If I can reduce time, if I can utilize time better, well, I am reducing waste. I am improving productivity. That's how they started looking at it. It's a very fundamental way of looking at activities. Let us see. Let us start looking at it also. Hopefully, you will immediately realize it is nothing very easy to appreciate. Okay, it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what is lean? Lean is doing more with less. That's it. Lean is waste elimination. If I remove waste, then with the same resources, I am doing more. And what if somebody asks us, what is Six Sigma? We say, reduce variation in your services or in your products. Reduce the variation. That's it. So lean is doing more with less. Now, having said that, let us see in my organization, imagine your organization. I'm imagining most of us are from the academic background, or academic institutes, not background, academic institutes. We can be from administration, we can be from academic, pure academic, we can be from any other supporting department. Let us let us try to see a few situations and tell us ourselves that is this happening or not. For example, we in any academic institutes, we complete reports. We are working hard and we are completing. What are you doing, Mr. Mitra? I am completing a report that may be no longer necessary. You have to submit that report. But results have been declared. But the report has to now to be produced, big report, or to a level of details which is no longer required. Fine. We are handing off work between several people in order to complete a task. I may be in the administrative department, and then I am handing off some work in order to complete that task. Giving my another colleague a bunch of reports or papers and saying, just have a look at it and then compile it and then send it like that. I may be walking to and from poorly located office machines and meeting rooms. Office machines, talking about office machines, I go and teach in some management institutes. They're good. They're very good management institutes. And I go to their administrative office. Sometimes I need a photocopy. I still need a photocopy. Now the photocopy machine is in the basement. It's a good heavy-duty photocopy machine in the basement. So I walk down the basement, into the basement. And walking up, 2 times if I do, I am panting. But then I have to quickly do it, quickly take out somewhere, and then maybe I will go to the class. I never realize I never realize anything. I'm not happy. That's all I know. Another example, having to process a large number of applications, loan forms, and exam results all at once. Quickly, we have to submit it. Let's do it. Work pressure, too much of work pressure. In the evening, I come back, not very happy. Waiting for decisions to be approved. So maybe the students are requesting for a shifting of the class, and this thing has to be approved by the director. Director is presently gone out for another meeting. He will be coming back. Everybody awaits. So there is waiting happening. Then a new session starting, a new year is starting. We need to bring out promotional materials or such things. And we print. Every year we print. And then next year, which is where is not required, we throw them out. Isko nikalo, remove them. So we remove them. There is a system in which we remove them. There are auction karenge, nahi to we have a selection process of those vendors, and we will call them, and then we will done away with all those things. Never ever asking the question, was it necessary? Was so many things necessary to be produced, so many numbers necessary to be produced? Was the whole process necessary from the point of view of the customers? We are never asking those questions. I don't know about our friend who is from, I think, UK or Ireland, whether these things happen in there or not. But very frankly, I think there maybe these things are happening, very much happening. But as far as our country is concerned, this is something which we live with. Not only in my educational institutes, I've been helping several government agencies, departments, name it, and I used to go there because from the central government there was a drive that all government departments, something like 65 departments, they should have some exercises of such things to be of system improvement to be initiated. Well, we accept certain things. The thought was that remove all kinds of inefficiencies. But when we went and looked at all these things, they accepted. They said, "Why are you doing this? Why have you come and upset our routine work, our critical work, core work?" All these words I used to listen. So the same thing is there in my academic institutes. Inability to process admissions due to missing or incorrect information. Information is not there. Missing, incorrect information. And then either the whole process gets stopped or, well, the whole work that has gone into it waits, or something wrong happens. And lastly, not using staff to the best of their abilities due to ignorance of skills and time pressure. I asked a contract driver, photocopy kar do. And he not only messes up everything, he does something wrong with the machine. Or I am quite good in IT work, in computers. I work in the administrative department, IT department. I am told, do and today there is some problems. Why don't you go and do some photocopies? The students are asking for it very quickly. The Madhav is not there. Please do it. And it becomes quite a regular feature. Now tell me, ain't all these A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8 types of things not happening or happening in my institute? Yes or no? Only give me an answer. Yes or no? Please help me with a single answer. Yes or no?
Yes.
It is happening. The mark please mark
Yes.
something.
Yes.
A1 to A1, A2, I have put things in A form. A1, A2, A3, A4. How many I have put? I have put 8. In my next few slides, we will quickly go through it now. I have put B. Working to deliver lectures and seminars in different buildings. I myself have encountered this thing, that the class is in one building. I used to be a little afraid. If that happens, I have to climb a little bit up. And then when I go to I have to reach by, let's say the class starts at 2:15. I reach there by 2:15. The class is on a little elevation. You have to walk. It's very well designed, but you have to walk up. Maybe 100, 200 meters. When you walk up, then you It is on the first floor. Then you walk up the staircases. Then you sit down. Then you look for water. And then you realize that the bottle is empty. So you go out of the class, look for the person, the boy who is to give the water. He's not there, or you see him, or else he sees him and he runs. By the time the class starts, it's already 10 minutes past. Requiring all faculty to satisfy standard teaching, research, and service workload, regardless of whether the work is needed. You have to do that. This is now after the class or after everything, you have to fill up this, you have to fill up that, you have to do this. Standard, these are all required. Because why? There are many reasons for that why. Nobody will give any answer. Nobody wants to give any answer because either they don't know the answer, because this is the practice which is we are inheriting. I have also done it. You also better do it. Let us all do it. Or some brilliant fellow will come and say, this is all required for the compliance, and there is this wonderful thing known as accreditation, and then there is wonderful thing known as government regulations. Anything why you do and why you're not doing it, if anything, ultimately you push that into that black hole of government requirement or at UGC requirement or AICT requirement, or they are coming for doing the assessment. End of it. So this is happening. Who suffers? I, as a faculty, will suffer. The admin who has to collect it and keep the record and all those things, they suffer. But was this the purpose of the educational institute? Does the customer is looking for all these things to be done? The answer is a big no. But we do it. We say, no, these are all required. What is required or what is not required? Have you analyzed? No. There is no answer for that. Not enough space to satisfy demand of classes at peak time and too much at other times. I have seen this here. This is also another. I go to a couple of institutes and Central University. That's my passion. So when I see there the same thing, I have seen same thing. That sometimes not enough space to satisfy demand for classes at peak times. So this class coordinator is searching. Sir, just to wait. Sir, just to wait. What are you doing? He said, I'm trying to find out the classroom which will be available for us. And then finally he finds out the classroom, and then finally he finds out that you cannot show the PPT there. The whole thing is waste. This is what is waste. But we do not recognize that. Waste has to be recognized. The first thing waste has to be identified and recognized. And waiting for students to arrive for their lecture or meeting or to submit work. And then we go on to failing to inform staff of new or changed policies in time for them to be observed. Then none of them knows that this policy has changed. Larger the educational institutes, higher the chances of the people who should know, they are not knowing that. That probability goes up. So, and even if they know, they will perhaps fetch an old version of it, and then they will say, and another colleague will say, hey, not that one. We have changed. And of late, when during this pandemic, what an amount of change in the teaching. You have to submit this through mobile. This you have to submit that through the whole thing is changing. The college has changed the system, and when you take the examination, that system has to be. The college has introduced that system. You have to. Technology is wonderful, but you have to keep pace with. If you do not support that technology properly, and if the technology has not been worked out, keeping the final customers in mind, then there is some problem. Friends, At this stage, let me share with you something. There is a word known as, I don't know, maybe some of you will be knowing about this word. There are two words which have become quite known. These are, these are coming from lean Toyota production system, and then in business, first in manufacturing, then in business, and then in several other, any organization. Even I know the NGOs, they practice this something, these words are getting known. These words, among these words are a couple of words I will just later on utter, and that makes why education institutes initially were very hesitant. These words are JIT, just in time. Whatever you need, anything you need, it should be in just in time. Don't store, don't keep things more than what is needed. That is the concept, JIT. And then there is yet another very, very fundamental word. JIT is not a Japanese word, just in time. The Japanese almost equivalent word is actually Kanban, which is also very much now being talked about. Even in education institutes, I have seen they are talking about, because they picked it up from the IT industry, projects. That what is the back, how many work to be in the to be done, what projects to be done, projects being done, projects that will be planning ahead, like that, which is they converted that into that Kanban concept. Wonderful. But the word that I'm trying to say is Jidoka. This Jidoka, Jidoka. Anybody who is having an interest can go to the do a search and find out. Enormous amount of literature you will find, and most of them highly exciting. Examples, excellent examples. Jidoka. Now, jidokas, these Japanese words cannot be translated, as many of us know. One-to-one cannot be translated. But this jidoka means not automation, but autonomation. Autonomation. Now, what's the meaning of automation? What do you mean by that? The meaning is very appealing. Its meaning is automation with a human touch. That means don't mindlessly automate everything. Automate with a human touch. Start everything from the customer. And then wherever there is the need, don't think human beings, the lesser the amount of human touch, things are better. No. Wherever human touch creates problem, eliminate that. But wherever a human thing takes a decision, keep that. Decision-making process has to be hastened. It's a very powerful word, and we usually discuss this Jidoka concept. It takes time, but a mindless technology application that leads to waste. You repeat many things, you do many things again and again. Why? We accept it. Don't question it. And very soon we will see another set of side here that lean is all about questioning. And this I have seen. I have been to these places. My profession was such that I have to go to many places and see both here and abroad. And I have seen the in reality many things which was absolutely different from what the way we have been doing. But the good thing is that there is a very good thing happening. I started visiting such organization late 80s and continued maybe a couple of years before the pandemic came. What I have seen is a sea change that is taking place. Indian business, I would rather put the word Indian business. The way they have transformed several of them. It is not that only one or two, but okay, if I say 10, and if I say the total population is 100, well, it's the opportunity still is less. the achievement is less. But the change process has come to India. India has adapted to many changes. Perhaps that's the reason India is always now talked about. Our country is always now talked about as a giant in the making. Let's hope that it happens very quicker, and our all everywhere these practices are institutionalized. This lean type of practices. So the failing to inform staff of new or change policies, creating memos, presentation, and report from scratch instead of using a standard template. Now, this use of standard template has come in a big way. That's good, but still, but at many places this happens that it is not there. Nobody has shared with me, so I create again. Taking coursework home in order to mark it. High-level staff completing simple tasks like proofreading. In my own organization, we used to laugh at each other and say, "Look, now this is what we have to do." When I was young, then I used to laugh, and then the senior used to come and say, "Come, do it. We have also done it. You also better do it. Don't think you are Einstein." Now maybe this is realities. We used to accept it as realities, but sometimes now I don't think these are realities, because my whole perception changed when I had gone to Japan and see how several how the senior and the relationship between senior and everybody has a right to ask questions. That right, perhaps we have not grown up with that sense of right. Maybe the scenario is changing, and I would love it's a great thing if the change takes place. In the C, this is now C. All new students for the year must enroll a single time period, causing long queues. Accustomed to queues. Even on if it is if a system is on computerized, you will see that is not taking. There is a queue for me. Library only stocking a handful of much in demand book, leading to waiting list and students struggling with assignments. That I have seen. I used to give assignments, and then they used to say, "Sir, the library doesn't have." You were mentioning something. Go through that. Go through this, but the library doesn't. There is a problem there. And I went to the library. I saw, yes, mindlessly there are something like 30 copies of a book which is no longer required. They are wonderfully kept. Now I cannot. I am a visiting one. I cannot go and challenge. Hey, why have you kept it? What is the year? You cannot. And if student he thinks you better not ask any question. So now having to hand over an electronic and paper copy of assignments in person and submit a copy online too. Hey, online there will be online. Yes, the college has introduced online. Send it through online. But don't forget, bring it the hard copy. Preferably 2 hard copies. End of it. End of it. No digging into the and asking why are we doing this. Nobody. These are not challenges. These are not problems. The problem is they will all start. The college is not getting enrollment. If the college is not getting enrollment, or the college is not coming forward with bringing new courses, new attractive courses, exciting courses. Baba, those are like I cannot see God. That is it is like that. But why am I using all this, doing all this thing? Nobody is asking such question, raising such question. Time to ask such disturbing or such. It is not at all disturbing. Time to ask such questions now. Else, somebody else is asking. The other institute is asking, and we are wondering, they are doing. How can they do so good? This is what we are discussing amongst us as educators. Hey, they are doing so nice. Those people seem to be happy. So, carrying around USB sticks or using cloud storage, to transport work to and from universities. Friends, I have done this ABC because this is how the entire lean is actually standing on an ability to categorize. So if any phenomena you see, if any phenomena you want to improve, first build up the ability to categorize. And once you have done it, then you must be able to any phenomena or any situation, you must be able to fit that into that categorization. Those, and there are some C5 scheduling classes for a single course in widely separated location. I know, but I have seen that. And, one class in the daytime was there, and another one was in the several kilometers away. There was another campus. Oh, go there. Acha. Now, unclear requirements for assignments from day one means that work must be redone before submission. Waiting for results or a lecture to start or equipment to be returned. I'm teaching all students at the same level regarding of personal inclinations or personal aptitude. So you have seen, we have seen 888 everywhere. The A1s, which we were, these are the A1s, completing reports, handing of work, all these things. They all belong to generally administrative areas. B, can you tell me what B will be connected with? If the A is connected with administrative things, what this will be connected with whom? Working to deliver lectures and seminars, requiring faculty to satisfy standard teaching, research, and those things. Not enough space to satisfy demand of classes, and then so you too much of it. This will be related with whom? In an academic environment, in a educational environment. One is administrative, and the next one is what related? Very easy. Somebody can just help me? Educator related, faculty related. These are all faculty related. And then this one, somebody please help me now. This will be
student related.
absolutely. Who was that? What was his name?
My name is Sir Sobendra Roy.
Absolutely right. You're from an educational institute?
Yes, sir.
Okay, absolutely right. And then how many, just an examples, and these were only examples. Now, in every, I just tried to show 888. The reason being, there are 8 generic wastes in lean. There were 7 classical wastes in the Toyota production system, which is nothing but the original version of lean. That name lean was given by Womack in that book, Machine That Changed the World. And the 8...
Excuse me, sir.
Huh?
Sir, can you do the slide slow, slide presentation, so that the front side will be more to see at the laptop? Slideshow is not there, sir. Do the slideshow if possible, so that it will be much more bigger, easier on a part to view. Slideshow. Yes, thank you, sir. So kind of you.
Hey, very good. Also getting old. Huh? Achha. Now this is okay?
Fine, sir. Very fine.
So there are 8 generic wastes of lean. There were 7 classical actually waste. Just for the heck of it, everything has a little bit of history. There was another Japanese company which came out with 9 types of waste. And one of them was a unutilized potential of human being. So that was taken up and added onto the 7 classical waste of Toyota, which is now today everybody, every organization, any size, any sector, they are all trying to understand 8 generic waste of lead. In very simple terms, excess motion is people or equipment walking or moving more than necessary. That thing more than necessary is everything. Because what is necessary you have to find out. But we do not. Chalo bhai, badal chalo, exercise kar lo, all sorts of peculiar reasonings we have. Excess transportation. Movement of materials not required to perform the processing. Underutilized people, not using full abilities of people or employees. Inventory, all parts, work in process, finished item, goods not being processed. Good. Effects, all work associated with identifying and correcting defects. Overproduction, producing ahead of demand. As I am saying this, try to think of situations in your academic institutes. Production ahead of demand. Jada student nikal diya. That is it. Waiting for the previous process steps to deliver. Over processing. Doing things that add no value for customers. Now, all A processes we have seen are administrative, B are academic, C are student-related process. Dekho, now we will just try a little bit. I am not asking you to try very much, but start thinking. It is not, now immediately you will realize even such a simple exercise may not be that simple. Now I say, A1 is completing reports that are no longer necessary or in a level of details no longer required. Now, out of those eight, with which will this be connected? Now, you will say, okay, I don't remember the 8. Very good. Everything has to be simple and practical. To remember this 8, they found out. Now, the Japanese never found this out. This is I think, our friend from Ireland. Are you still there, or are you no longer there? Our friend from Ireland. Are you there? Perhaps not there.
Hello?
Oh, you're there.
Yeah, sorry.
Great.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the lecture. Thank you.
Okay. See, if I say, hey, you have to remember those 7 things.
Yeah.
Plus the human loss. That is the plus thing. Oh, say, okay, how do I remember? So they said, this is either the Americans, the Japanese never said like that, or the British. The British are excellent because I remember many things which a long time back, maybe again in the 80s, my British tutor used to help yourself by remembering this abbreviations. So I do not forget an abbreviation known as SREDIM, SREDIM. Ever I will forget. Because then he said, if you want to take up, that was something of, a very fundamental study of work. That you select some area of study, so select S, then you record. And friends, please remember that right now the same thing is there. So ages back, I mean decades back, not ages, decades back. This gentleman, my tutor, British tutor, I was then in Calcutta. So he said, I have come to Calcutta. I landed in Mumbai, and we used to laugh. They go Mumbai. What is he saying? But he was a great man, great tutor. So made him select, record, examine, develop, install, maintain. Anything you do, if you follow this principle of shredding, that's the way. Today, there are many things expansive. The M is now known as sustainable. You do everything which is to be sustained, like that. So these 7 things plus 8 is the human potential, are usually you can remember by remembering Tim Wood, TIMWOOD. T for transportation, I for inventory, M for motion, the way, the ergonomics, the movements, human movements, not the machine movements. M, wood. And waiting, W for waiting, O for over-processing, O for overproduction, and D for defects. And you never forget. And you go and you look at any process and say, this might be the M of Tim Wood. This might be the O of Tim Wood, like that. And it is exciting. You must be able to see. The moment you start seeing things through the Tim Wood things, through the Tim Wood filter, it's something we have started learning, and that's what I learned, and that I learned from Japan. The Japanese tutor, we were very very difficult to understand them. So A1, which was this, completing reports that are no longer necessary, is over processing. A2, handing of work between several people. And what does it say? It says A2 is, that's not physical transportation. Handing of work is conceptually, it relates to, it fits into transportation. So that's transportation. A3, motion, or that is what we known as something known as in the technical terms ergonomics, or human bending. Nobody likes to bend. No teacher would like to bend. No teacher would like to walk too much or like that. Bodily movement, body postures. A badly designed chair will prevent a faculty from giving a good lecture. Practical, very much from practical experience. They have designed chairs, modern chairs, but completely must have forgotten that the inputs have to be taken from customers. And customers are not young 20 years or 25 years young boys and girls. Customers here are on the other side. The lecture room can have but the teacher sitting here can be maybe 30 maybe too young. Well, 35, 40, but okay, it can be also 70. So that was motion. What was motion? Let's have a quick look at it. Walking to and from poorly located office machine. A4, having to process a large number of applications, loan forms and exam results all at once. And what is A4? What is A4? A4 is overproduction. Overproduction. A large number. There is nothing known as 1:1 answer. These are not arithmetic. Out there in an academic institute or in any institute, there is no mathematics going on. It is all your perception, how you do it and what you want to achieve by doing that. But purpose has to be very clear. Everywhere the purpose has to be made very clear. This is why we are doing. This is what we are trying to achieve. And then let us see the last few ones. What it is saying, waiting, inventory, defect, and employees. Let us see. Waiting for decisions. Well, that's waiting. It's and then printing new brochures. What did we see? What was written there was an answer, or rather as a categorization. Myself has forgotten. Inventory. The last two are defect and employees. Employees means the potential, human potential, waste of human potential. Very, very powerful thing happening in our country. Very, very horrible thing happening in our country. Waste of human potential. You will find that we all know when we see a PhD student applying for a own job, it's a slur on our society. But well, what can we do? We have to change ourselves like anything. Okay. So now, I am not going through the B and C. If somebody is thinking, let me see that if we are finding it interesting, you may write to Professor Datta, and then you may try it. You can see this thing and then try it on your own and then see the answers. It's a very exciting thing. I'm telling you, it's a very, very exciting thing. A matching that this can be matched, and then you need not. There is no single answer. This is the matching which I have done is correct, but still, usually you will find that 3-4 persons when they do such an exercise, usually the consensus comes. Yeah. Then this has to be done, and you are not doing it just for the fun of it. You are doing it because you have something else now to start. So now. That's the essence of the 7 West, don't forget, or 8 West, let it be 8. Now the whole thing, lean is actually, there are certain words like that, like you may write it down. 3M, 5S, S capital. 7 or 8 West. It's like this. So any organization you can go and say, okay, are there now? What are those 3 M's? Actually, the 3 M's are the most powerful things. 3 M's, they call it Muda, Mura, Muri. And don't think that these are strange words in the Indian business now. Indian business have spent enough time now. Go to any good Indian business, be it manufacturing, any sector, be it pharma, be it auto, be it engineering, be it chemical, you will find this. They are thoroughly conversant with this 3M. You go to BPO, you go to IT, you go to healthcare, and also you go to some of the educational institutes. They are aware of this 3M. Muda, Mura, M-U-R-A, Muri, M-U-R-I. One is, Muda is waste, simple waste, best, that's it. The other two is overburden, too much of work. Overburden, I am overburdened with work. The machine is overburdened. The photocopy is overburdened, so it counts off. My work, I am overburdened because I have to submit so many things so quickly. A frightening thing has happened because I have to check 250 papers and submitted day after tomorrow. I go mad, overburdened. Why did this happen? Don't question, just do it. And unevenness. Why couldn't we spread the whole thing? Why couldn't we schedule the whole work over the year and remove the ups and downs? Why are you asking such question? They made the schedule so that we cannot change it. It's a rigid schedule. Don't question. Sometimes you have to work a little hard, little more. Sometimes there is a lean period. So it's offsetting. Don't question. But there they question everything. 3 M's are the essence of any lean. 3 M's. If at the end of the day, if somebody asks, what did you learn? You ask yourself, what did I learn? I learned, perhaps, there is a concept of 3M, because in these 3M and these 7 W's, these W's are waste, Tim Wood, they are connected. Some of them will be connected with, they are actually connected through the first M, Muda, which is nothing but Muda, waste, Mura, overburden, Muri, unevenness. They say this is very much prominent in any education institute. Just close your eyes, think of your own institute, and you will see uneven work distribution. Close your eyes, think, and then you will see overburden. Overburden concept is a lovely thing, and it breaks you. But then they will say you are tested. You couldn't match the pressure, work pressure. What work pressure? Because of your failure of scheduling, because of your failure of understanding your own process, because of your failure of removing all non-value-added activities, you are saying you work pressure. You are creating work pressure, and then you are saying you are not able to manage stress. I, as an educator, has not joined an education institute just to face this kind of stresses. I came here to teach. It is my area of real enjoyment. But here, I am after some time, I am also becoming a cog in the wheel, and I say, okay, this is how life has to go on. Friends, it is the same thing which happens in other business also. And I am sure, whatever I have seen, because I have seen also by going through it, I enjoyed teaching. Therefore, in 2006, I started also my work was going on, but then, well, of course, I started teaching. So I have seen it, and how they are no different, and it should not be. I had the opportunity to see a Japanese university also, but for very limited time. But of course, I have spent time in the Japanese other industries. There a lot of time. But the same practice is there. There is nothing different. That gave me the confidence that, and of course, my giving me confidence is no meaning, but the world has given confidence. The world is practicing. Go to Arizona, go to Brazil, go to England, go to Ireland. They were all, every organization have explored or are exploring because of this current situation. How do I survive and keep our operations going, our education system going? So Lean views a process as a function of the value added in each process steps. It is perceived by the customer. Here the customer is the last. At the most, student at the end of for the management institutes, at the end of the day, the students' feedback of a faculty is very important. So faculty, half the mind of the faculty is let the student give me a good feedback. Oh, what nonsense! in lean, value is defined as the worth of something to the customer end user as measured by his or her willingness to pay for it in either time or money. This is interesting. Either time or money. So that is value. This is the value concept. And if a process steps does not add value, it should not be done. End of it, period. Very, very, very ruthless statement. If it doesn't add value, don't do it. Why are you doing it? Think of something else. What do you think of? So they ask you, what do you think of? Then some wise man will come and say, we are thinking technology. What technology here? Because we will obviate several of the processes. What several processes? What steps through which you will go? So then they said, for this analysis, look into ECRAs. Eliminate some process, combine some process, rearrange some process, and then standardize the whole thing. What a wonderful way of looking at things. Educational institutes can do wonders if any one of them takes up, and then results will show not in a day. Results will take its own time, at least give a year time, if not more than that, 2 years, 3 years. Now, talking about process, everything hinges on process now. We had seen thousands of universities in this country. We have seen 1.5 million plus educational institutes, big numbers. Any guess how many students are there in this country? Formal universities and even add schools. Don't add the non-formal types. Guess how many? Can anybody help me? How many students are there? Come on, some figures. Is it less than 1 crore or more than 1 crore? 1 crore actually for our friend it's
yeah, I think more than 1 crore maybe. Certainly.
More than a crore.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's more than 1 crore, which is 10 millions. But is it 10 crores?
13 to 15 crores, I think, graduates are coming out, the technical graduates all over India. Approx 15 crores, I think. Diploma, approx, whatever figure I have. 13 to 12 crores.
I don't know.
No, whatever. 12 to 13 crores professionals are coming out in India, sir, whatever knowledge I have.
Number of students, it's not that high.
Yes, generally coming out with various technical institutes.
It's not that high. Remember, it's not that high. Search it out. I sometimes it interests me because I was also involved in education and in QCI. That was a time when we were building up this accreditation scheme for schools. So I was looking at the schools figure. Then, of course, my own interest took me to universities and higher education, but not that high. So, but one phenomena in India is everything is in big numbers. Numbers is we feel very comfortable with big numbers. Population, so much, 100 and now how much? Population?
135 plus maybe?
Absolutely right you are. And the Chinese says, this last time, this Xi, how much he said? That
I think that's 150 plus.
About 140. 140. That means he gives it. He mentioned in terms of millions, and 140 whatever with the million will be crores with 10. So around 1,400 million Chinese will stand up and protect the Great Wall if somebody wants to bully us. What a statement that man gave. But the Chinese education system is a highly interesting thing. All kinds of facts and the non-value-added activities they keep on removing. accepted. Those guys are in many aspects, except their horrible draconian regime. They do not leave anything. All the time trying to look at efficiency, because they know that is the way how to build up, how to make it a nation as a competitive nation. Fascinating. Okay, examples now coming to, after all, like every business, there is this, in the education there is also process. Without process you cannot do anything. So friends, at some point of time, I used to work in the area of benchmarking. It's a very common area, but well, you need to also get trained up in benchmarking. You just can't say, you jump into benchmarking and I will benchmark everything, benchmark norm and like that. No, it's not like that. So in the benchmarking, there was this question of process benchmarking, and then at that point of time came the subject matter, grew a subject matter known as BPR, business process reengineering, and then people started looking at process reengineering and process benchmarking, and that was the time when I also received the training from Robert Kemp, who is known as the guru of benchmarking. So now I had asked a question to myself that, well, in any business, what are the standard numbers of, what will be the standard or approximately standard number of processes? It cannot be infinite. Except God, nothing can be infinite. There has to be a number. And then my search took me to at least, I remember, 350 processes. And I never calculated or developed those processes. People have done work. So everything in this world, there are people who will do research and find out. And so I found out that there are something like 350 plus at that point of time. I'm talking about 90s. Processes are there. They include everything, getting, this was on the business side. So identifying suppliers, identifying a customer order review, like that. 350. Right now, well, I'm not working there in that area, but you can go back and ask and find out how many processes that there. You will find. And when I used to do these government projects, then I used to go and ask the cinemas man. Usually not, but sometimes even there are many progressive and very highly educated secretaries also to Government of India, highly educated from them. It's a pleasure to interact with them. Even them, I would ask them, are you aware of how many processes are there in your organization, in your department? Bas, the whole the fund started. Call the additional secretary, call the joint secretary, and he's asking an inventory of the processes. Just like that, I would also like to ask you, do you know how many processes you have? If you don't know, then you do not know your own organization. Bas, and period. Therefore, what people are doing, you also are not aware. If the leadership team is not aware of the number of processes, or at least what they should come out with it. These are the processes. Now, these processes can be huge, because the moment you look at a process and then the sub process and then the still sub processes, mind-boggling. Just wait. Just give 1 second. So, why the whole thing can start here? Find out, take an inventory of the processes, because this is all, summation of the processes is equal to the organization. Whatever you call it, organization, system, your educational system of ABC or whatever you call it. So, like, now what are these examples of representative processes, just to trigger the mind? Let us say accreditation examples, representative examples, accreditation of courses. Accreditation of courses is a broad process. Now, in that process, you will find sub-processes, and several of the sub-processes, when you analyze, you create on the left-hand side all those accreditation process, sub-process 1, 2. Can you tell me a sub-process of accreditation? Any sub-process of accreditation. Course accreditation is a process. Accepted, yes or no?
Yeah.
Now, what will be a sub-process? You will immediately face a slight challenge. So there are several sub-processes. It can be, the first is, if it is a accreditation of courses, that means somebody will come and then somebody will go through it, build the course. So the course has to be completely prepare the details of the preparation of the details of course. It's a process. Who does it and when does it? All those questions are there. Then that it is complete. Then you go to the next one like that. Then you say this will be sent to the agency. Say the NAC is coming, so you send it to NAC, and then NAC gives you back to with the comments. So receive the comments, understand the comments, then do it. And who does it? The moment you break it up, you will start observing that there are activities or there are sub processes which are redundant. Maybe fully redundant or not fully, therefore that ECRS concept comes. Same is the case of determining academic regulations. Same is the case of determining graduate attributes. What will be the attributes? Who prepares those attributes? Teaching strategies, arranging teaching learning materials, student selection, the list goes on. Course coordination, determining student progress. That means examination. Here, the student progress means review, half-yearly, annually, and it goes on. Industry collaboration, course review, research funding. The list goes on. The budgeting, the accounting, the technology. The technology means the technology sourcing, technology deployment, technology monitoring, technology evaluation. The conference determining the subtopic of the conference, determining X, Y, Z, this. The more you know about the process, the more you are confident that now we can review this process. If you do not know, well, there is a problem. Then emergency. This is a very critical process now. Emergency preparedness. And then laboratory safety. And the list goes on. So friends, if somebody asks, how do we go? What do we do? Then these are areas in which immediately first you take a process inventory. And after doing all those things, what is the outcome? Usually, increased performance will improve, performance of the academic institutes will improve, both in financial terms as well as in other terms. Increased delivery, cost saving, increased employee satisfaction, increased customer satisfaction, and several other benefits. These are prominent benefits, the others are benefits. A $1 million question is always asked, any initiative. Why do I do it? They call it, what's in it for me? So things like, what things keep me from doing my work? Why am I failing to complete a work and submit it? Be it an administrative staff asking, be it a faculty asking. Why am I not being able to fulfill my curriculum, the entire thing, on time? And I am focusing only on the Anyhow, I have to finish the core things. The rest of the things, okay, little bit sacrificing. I am not happy, but I am doing it because no time. Why interruptions? Why interruptions? Don't ask such question. What would make my job easier? Even if there are interruptions, if the interruptions are planned properly, then it would have made my job easier. Lean does that. What would make my job more satisfying? I would have find out really time for my own faculty development. Lean does that. What would improve the skills and capabilities of those who work for me? I would like this guy to be taught the advanced Excel. There's a lot of I would like him to get trained. Lean will help me doing that. What would improve my work environment? A very simple thing of work environment. Re-layout, a rearrangement of the whole department. Department can be rearranged. They do rearrange. They do so many things now. What would make me more successful in my job? Maybe I have new research papers or more. I may go out and present my papers. I become more known as an educator. See, the lean. If once you start doing lean, it is not only you are satisfying all the key stakeholders. The management of the education institute, of course, in terms of efficiency improvement, productivity improvement, and financial reward, financial performance. The next important is the students. Their learning outcome becomes much better because the faculty's whole thing has become better. The faculties are satisfied, and then the administrative guys, the employees are satisfied. These are some of the impacts which are of lean. And this is the last slide of this set. There are many sets which I thought, because I love lean. I love to talk about lean. I take lean subjects for a few years back. I used to take it for 4 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I used to enjoy every moment. Then, of course, they reduced it to 3 days because business people used to find it difficult to spend 4 days. So 3 days, so definitely with lot of exercises and lot of practices. So, and I used to tell this my colleagues. They were my colleagues. They were all from industries and business. That we are not learning. We must be enjoying every moment of it, because lean is such a challenging subject. And then, as any subject grows, it will find. I need not say this to my educator colleagues. You will find that principles evolve. Until and unless a principle is evolving, once a principle evolves in any subject area, in any topic, as if I call it as if you are now even grown up. That subject has grown up. So lean has now 5 principles. These are very sacrosanct principles. In the quality field, there are principles of management. In the area and now in the latest, there are 2 subjects which has developed post-pandemic. They were there earlier, but they have developed now. Business is looking at it very seriously, very, very seriously. That is risk management and resilience management. As the name implies, you can immediately understand what will consist of risk management. Because there is now, we all know, the risk has now no longer hidden risk or anything like that. Risk is there. If I go out, there is a risk. Even if I'm in my office room, there is a risk. So, and then add on to all others, and there is a risk management concept. So business has to work through risk management. and then came risk and resilience. So you have to be, if you want to introduce, if you cannot introduce saying, my whole system is rigid, I cannot change this system, and you have many a times you will say, oh, regulations are there, they do not allow me to do this. All humbug. Because regulations doesn't say that you will not do anything, you will do only this thing. Like, never ever they will say. The regulations are also changing. With time they also change. This is a dynamic process. So you cannot say, oh, compliance requirements are there, therefore I will not do. I cannot change this. This curriculum is hard and fast. I have to follow this. These are all rigid things. Nothing can be done. All humbug. Nobody has ever told you these are the things these are the broad outline. And why I do not know, because then I will fall back on that. Now, oh, you see, I cannot do this. I am happy with this. What happy? Okay. So principles evolved. So this risk, there is in the subject of risk, there is principle evolved. In the subject of resilience, you will find principles evolved. And the whole management system is standing on those principles. It's a wonderful or the best expression of human ability. These principles. I love these principles. Anybody will love these principles. Any human being will love these principles. So these principles of in education, I mean, these are from WOMAC actually specified this. Precisely specify the value by specifying learning experience. So you start thinking, what will be the learning experience of the student in my institute? You start with simple words, but then you start expanding. It will be a joyful learning experience. What is joyful? As you go and exploring, you will find that you are coming out with answers. Identify the value stream. This is a tough thing. This is tough. This value stream concept is tough, because a big process you have to do a big picture. That is a say a value stream enables you to understand your own organization. A whole day, if I am observed, if suppose I observe whole day my own activities, I will start knowing myself. And suppose I want to improve myself, I improve physically, improve mentally, I have to do that. Because this is how I spend every moment of my time. This is how I do. This is what I do. Then I start looking at it and say, if I have to do this, then I have to remove this particular activity. It's not adding value. Exactly in that manner, the whole value stream concept is worked out. But it takes time. It takes effort. It takes learning. It takes training. You need training. You cannot do it just like that. Make learning. Now, this is another word, flow. Remember, it is not the flow, concept of flow. I don't want to mention the name of the organization where I had done that. It's the country's highest organization. So now they struck with they bought the concept. They understood the concept of flow. That means nothing should be. You must not stop anything. It should move, flow. And what is the other? Batch. So batch and flow. Batch is sometimes good. It appeals for it is appealing to people like me. Oh, keep it. I will do it. I will do it in a jiffy like that. But it is not the right way. Everything should be clear. I did some 5 years or 6 years of work in a British multinational, very famous of those times. And the boss there was not only one boss, there were 3-4 bosses under whom I worked. One of them, I never forget, his table was always absolutely clean. So one day I said, sir, your table is all the time clean. There is no paper, nothing. There was not the computer age. Not even so, absolutely clean, and the man is sitting there, and he said, that's the way you should do your work. Nothing, everything should be, if the moment anything comes in, out it should go. You take a decision and move it out. So the flow. That is why. Now, today, technology enhances, facilitates flow. Every grievance, everything flow, and it should be addressed. Oh, the concept of escalation and other things came out from that. Let the learner pull value from the educator. Pull the value from the educator. And the last one is flawless activities, perfection. Humankind is looking for, is only trying to get perfection. So pursue perfection. These are the 5 principles which is lean principle. These are the lean principle. A little bit of things is education, a learning experience, and other things. Words are there just to make it in the educational concept. So my first set of slides are over, but before we stop for 5 minutes, maybe, if the Professor Datta tells us it's okay, just for 5 to maybe 7 minutes, 7 classical waste. So 7 minutes we will wait. But before that, let us just see something. Let us just see something. And hope I will be able to show you that. By the way, tell me, till now, it's almost 3:47, 1 hour, 47 minutes minus 5, 6 minutes. How do you perceive now lean? Just your thoughts. One or two words.
Yeah, I believe appropriateness in education is another way that we can perceive lean. Appropriateness.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Mr. Pandey. Pandey, you are from where?
All right, so presently I'm representing SSR Institute of Management and Research, Silvassa. We are situated at Dadra and Nagar Haveli, the Union Territory. And as such, I hail from the state of Bihar, Siwan district.
Okay, okay. Wonderful. Think about it. Think about it. How you have to, everything, customization of every concept has to be done. Think about it. That's wonderful. Anybody else want to say a couple of words?
The introspection is very much required. Introspection.
You are from where?
I am from West Bengal. Dr. Avik Mitra, Vice Principal and Professor, Global Institute of Technology, Krishna District, Nadia, West Bengal.
If we do it, and we can do it, India can do it. You know, that's the thing, because it has shown in many other sectors what we can do. The best of the practices of lean are in Indian companies. Awesome practices have been done in Indian companies, being recognized all across the world. There are such activities, such projects.
By doing introspection, we have to find out what are the steps we are doing, the teaching methodology or teaching processes, taking the classes, and after that, finding out which are redundant. Those are to be just moved out. Automatically, I think the efficiency and all those aspects are going to the positive angle. That's the way of thought.
That's the way. But you have to do it taking everybody together with your team.
Yeah, with the team, with the department, with others.
And the whole thing should start from leadership. Or
Yes.
else they will say, oh.
First, I have to implement myself, and accordingly, it is to be implemented across hierarchy.
Or else people will say, oh, they are doing it because they want to remove the people. Especially the administrative guys, and then the faculty will also think, oh, you know, they are going to get new blood, fresh blood like that. End of it.
I am also a member of QCFI, sir.
Great.
I am doing this now, whatever going on, I am touching QCFI. And membership having QCFI, sir. Area level, area quality.
Okay, now last one, very simple. Let us try to see. Let me see whether I can get it or not. Just a second, give me. Hey guys, you can see this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
can see.
Now only for 2 minutes or so, and then we will the break for 5 minutes. Professor Datta, you will allow me, yeah, you will have to allow. Will you allow me for a break of 5-6 minutes?
Yeah, yes, sir. We can take a health break of 10 minutes.
But after
Yeah, yeah,
a few slides,
right.
then I will take a break.
Yes.
Maybe 7 minutes, because 2 minutes for or 3 minutes for making a little half a cup of tea, and then 3 minutes for or 2 minutes for drinking it. Okay, now we move ahead. Now you see, when we talk about lean or any other subject, which is trying to bring a new, fresh way of looking at things. We are calling it a fresh way of looking at things. Same thing, but fresh. Look, fresh process we have been doing, but look at the processes are fresh. So now, standard work for navigating the presentation. That's all. We are not bothered with all this thing. We are not bothered with this thing now. Now let's get started. Don't note down anything. Note down in your mind. That's important. Note down in your mind. But don't note down anything. Note down in your mind, or else the fun will go. Okay, now, due to the recent economic crisis, it has become apparent that our current system of numbers is no longer working. Good, okay, fine. That current system of numbers no longer working. Acha, economic crisis, something like that. Okay. To address this crisis, a new set of symbols has been created to replace the current numbers 1 to 10. How have they changed? It is imperative that we learn these new symbols as quickly as possible. You're not given, generally, we are not given a huge time for a change initiative to be implemented. Our world, as we know it, depends on each of us to do our best. We want to bring change in our educational institute. We must, all of us, do our level best. Cooperation, work together, all those things. Fine, okay. Now, hey, God knows where this whole thing has gone. Numbers were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Forget this side. So the numbers are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 is cross. 10 is cross. You cannot see it. 10 is cross. So 1 is now this way. 2 is this. 3 is this. Likewise, 5 is full square. 6 this, 7 this, 8 this, 9 this. 10 is cross. So now you are given 45 seconds to remember it. And then you start writing what was this new form in which it was there. You just saw it. Try to recall from your mind. What did you see? Can you recall? Max time 45 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hardly 30 seconds are left. Mentally ले लीजिए. Five seconds are left. Now, check it out. 1 was this, 2 was this, 3 this, 4 this, 5 this, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many of you could get it correct? Just see and tell me. Yes, sir, got it correct. 2 or 1 I got correct.
8 I could get correct.
Great.
7 was replaced by 8 and then 8 was replaced by 7. But then 8 I could get.
8. Be honest to yourself. How many? Okay, somebody 7, somebody 8, somebody 6. No harm. 3. Okay. I don't think anybody could get it 10. Maybe 9 also. But yes, 8. Somebody did get the number 8. 8 correct. Like this. Now, it is actually from the left side starts distracting you. Now, देखो, everybody got right 1 due to repetition and 10 because I kept on saying 10 cross, like that. These numbers usually 5 and 7 people remember. People who believe in a linear thought process, very powerful. You have to develop linear thought process. We are never in our school system. We are never told to learn. We are never told about all these things but these are the things which should be told. A linear way of thinking. This is a very powerful way of thinking. See, I can twing, then then this. There is now you know keep many exams and like this. What will be the next number? Like that they come. What will be the next symbol? But no, that is something else. This. Okay. But now think in a completely. If I start thinking in the same thing, I'm doing it in a different way. See how easily it can be remembered. This is how you can remember. You will never forget because this is वही जो हमारा क्या बोलता था गेम क्या बोलता है जो भी ऐसा ही figure. Now 1, 2, 3 आंखों बंद करके 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is this. So 1 will be this, 2 will be this. You don't not even make any attempt. Who was that?
Definitely, Dr. Rajesh. That was good. That was really interesting.
I'm telling you, this is the way pattern has to be. You look for pattern. In your institute, you look for pattern. You look for rhythm. You look for pattern. And if once you start looking at like that, your colleagues also start looking at like that. Well, you have achieved a great thing already. Nobody can stop your organization. Nobody can prevent your organization. Why world-class institutes? How world-class institutes are formed? Not like that. It is like this new way of thinking, radical thinking. Japanese, they call it kaikaku, radical way, or small, kaizen, like that. So, this is what I thought of sharing with you. And let us now little bit break for it is time is what? Time is now 4:01, max 5-7 minutes. And then so for 5 minutes, let us just break and we come. They call it kaika. They call it kaika. Radical wave, small, not rising. It is small improvements, continuous improvement. One is kaikaku, and one other is. We will see. Now, after coming back, we will see one more. I told you now there are other sets of slides. Maybe at the most I will be able to see 1 or 2 more sets of slides. Okay, just 5 minutes. I'm back.
Yes, sir.
Till now, hey, is it visible? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Visible.
Okay, that's good. Till now, generally, what all that we have discussed is an introductory thing. I mean, what is the essence of lean? The essence of lean is to remove wastages in a process. Processes are everywhere. An organization consists of multiple number of processes, and many of the processes may not add value to the organization, but they are over the time, many call them legacy process. In several organizations, there are many legacy practices which no longer has any meaning or any value. So every organization periodically should review and remove those non-value added processes, and they call them, in the parlance of lean, they call it waste. And it is not very easy to say we will remove processes. So where you would like to remove processes is look at the 7 that every in a organization, there are wastes happening under these 8 categories. They are classified under team wood. Transport, inventory means wherever. Inventory means inventory, and that concept have to be only extended in case of service organization. Where is the inventory taking place? And then M means movement or motion of human beings. And team wood. W means waiting. And the O means over processing. You do anything more and more, again and again, not required. Do it once, do it right. That's where quality comes. And then over production, don't do something and in the hope of, okay, they will do it ahead, do it before. Keep the machines running, keep the organization running. Not like that. If it is required not to be run, don't run. If it requires to be kept kept till the time things are happening. Let it wait. So overproduction, and they say it's a criminal thing to overprocessing, overproduction. And the last one is defects, in the sense is deviation, in the sense not okay. Errors. Errors is the word. Errors are everywhere. Doing again, redoing an error is a thing which saps energy. But then we are accustomed to that. Only the other day we found a affidavit letter. Then letter, Letteer, letter, yes, typed, and then it is stamped. Everything was over. Thankfully, that bugger who was to check it, he looked at it and he just pointed out. It's very easy now. He just said, "Sir, this is spelling mistake." So I was thinking, let this fellow not tell me, go back and then bring another one, because every stamp, everything has been over. But it is that, is it the system is such that the fellow is unable to give a concentrated concentration. Focus is not right. Beyond this, there is a challenge of management. Everything has to be, the whole exercise has to be driven by management. And management, there are people like to compare. Comparison is a basic human instinct. So here also in this presentation, a comparison has been given. A comparison between existing usual management or routine management, it is referred here as modern management. Anywhere, be it education, be it healthcare, be it manufacturing, be it hospitality, anywhere, the same concept, because management is management and leadership is leadership. They have to drive every initiative. It is change comes from there. So what is that? What is it that lean management's challenge as against the modern or existing? So think about the type of management system we need in order to make lean deployment sustainable. What kind of management are we looking at? Does my management do we have such kind of a management system? The modern management, actually it evolved from Sloan School of Management. Though you may still go back but I think the modern management, scientific management grew from Frederick Taylor, and then the foils, that typical Potsdam model was later on. But actually, many people say it is the Sloan School of Management. Harvard School, many people say, okay, they refer, but let us stick to this Sloan School of Management. And lean management is AZ Toyota Gemba School of Management. This is a very, very fundamental word, Gemba. Gemba means, anybody knows Gemba? One word for Gemba, English word.
Workplace.
Absolutely correct. It is actually workplace. Things where the place where it is happened, where it is happening. There are three words: Gemba, Gemjutsu, and just forgetting that word. There are three words with G: Gemba, Gembutsu, and Gemjutsu. These are the three things. Workplace is Gemba. That is the most fundamental word. Because we get isolated from the workplace. We assume that we know, but we do not know anything. Just like the way we assume that we know all the processes, it is just like that. The workplace, where actual things are happening. Gemba. So they call it a Gemba management. Always they talk about Gemba management. They will never ever talk anything else. They will go and sit there and understand it. Very, very funny and very, very fundamental way of doing things. Completely different. May not be completely, but in the first year you will find it looks very funny. Like no report will have more than 2 pages. They will not read it. I learned it hard way. And then I was assisting some company. And the project report, either the whole proposal was in 6 pages. So the coordinator said, he's an Indian. He said, sir, you have to reduce it to 2 pages. I know what nonsense, cannot reduce. He said, MD will not read it. MD was a Japanese. We have to struggle. And finally, 2 pages. But that lessons which we learned was enormous. He said, MD doesn't touch anything more than 2 pages. But a thoroughly humble person that MD was. So they call it Gamba School of Management, easy Toyota. The current Toyota head is also a very lovable person. Let's perform a primary. This is the silo concept. It is still there. It is very much there. Academic institutes, very much there. Government organizations, everywhere. Breaking this vertical. All verticals, please join for a meeting. What verticals? No verticals. Primary focus on vertical functions and departments, and as mechanisms of optimization and control. Whereas in the lean, on horizontal flow of values. Very, that is why that lean is a new way of thinking, new way of looking at your work processes at the workplace. Horizontal flow. There are many complaints coming, so you bunch them together. Then you come and then you go, this complaint there, this complaint there. Then somebody comes and starts segregating. Then further segregation. Then it goes to this and like that. Everybody accumulating. Then after some time, okay, this much. Then the next step will happen. No, that is not the way. Nothing can remain. Nothing. That the boss who had told me, you cannot keep anything. Make it move. Give everybody move. Without move, nothing can happen. Move. Perhaps it came from the assembly line concept. Clear glance of in vertical management, in vertical system of organization, the clear grants of managerial authority by leaders of organization. Managerial authority, command and rule. It is a very lovely word, command and rule. Managerial authority. If the boss is coming, I couldn't make out who is boss and who is there when I had gone there to study in Japan, to study all these practices as a part of a study team. Clear grounds of managerial responsibility to solve problems. A manager's managerial responsibility is to solve problems, not command and rule. Authority nahi hai. They solve problems. Especially cross-functional and horizontal problems, over which managers have no authority with vertical organization. So, to solve problems, managers' leadership role is to solve problems, not to see or oversee or supervise. We would love to supervise. Even if you are a faculty, and if it is not completed on time, why question? Do it, or else director sir will not be here. You have to keep it. You all the time look at the director's room. What director's room? He should be the most person He will be always trying to understand the problem solver. Probably he is the person for that. End-to-end, they are judged on end-to-end period results for their span of control. Line managers judge on the state of their process. Thus, in the lean system, if the process is right, the results will be right. Planning and direction from top down, bosses giving answers, leads to compliance focus. Make your plan or explain the variances. Lovely thing. Lovely thing. Make your plan and explain the variances. Variance is a beautiful word. Why we have failed, these numbers. You know, our boss is a taskmaster. He will just look at the variance and he will catch you like anything. I am working in an organization where somebody is catching me. Variances are coming and then somebody is questioning, is asking answers from me. Lovely organizations, and everybody is down the line is saying, hey, meeting hai. Today that meeting. That's it. Why? Why are you not giving full responsibility to and that thing? Everybody's own. Yeah. No, you don't know. Human beings are not like that. Human beings are not goody-goody. Everybody knows that. Human beings are not goody-goody, but your system should be such. Planning and direction in circular feedback loops. No feedback comes. Half the information will come. Half the information will not come. That's the way we work. This information not to be given. Information sharing, oh, that's all lovely words to say, but we do not believe in that. In an educational institute, if that happens, don't you think education is the institutes actually are the foundations of the society? All others are actually from there. No, we take the best from the corporates. We have a long way to go, friends. We have a long way to go if we want to change this country also. Because others are changing. What do you think is the important issue? Is there a problem? What's the root cause of the problem? A root cause of the problem. Problem solving. No discussion. No long discussion and rambling about. There is a particular way. Such is the power of the whole thing. You will, I don't know, once you start doing it, and once it's like a, what do they say, that word? You are like a, you are like a, you are like a, zealot. You are like a zealot. You will not leave that because that's the way we do things here. It's such powerful. You will just, maybe at the end, you will just see it. That is actual, that learning starts from there. The root cause. Anything, don't talk. Let's put down everything in this shit. One sheet, A3 sheet, and then we will go ahead. What do you think the potential solutions are? Countermeasures, that's the word, countermeasures. What countermeasures do you think we should select? Who must do what? When? Where? Test this countermeasure. Anything. If I am not happy, if there is problem, countermeasure. What's the countermeasure? Don't talk. But otherwise, but if somebody is having too much of problem, why don't you ask him to go? And you will see all his problems will vanish. I'm such a great manager. I'm such a great director. Friends, I have also come across many directors of educational institutes. Some of them are excellent. Some of them are run-of-the-mill type. And some of them are perhaps worse than corporate management. Corporate traditional bosses who believed in as if Kita philosophy. I hope you know the Kita philosophy. Conviction from the top that a good plan once properly implemented, produces desired result. Plan and result. Justifying the compliance focus. 100% today also is existing. Belief. There are so many people. Conviction that all, this is the existing. Conviction that all plans are experiments and can only be evaluated through the scientific method in the form of, what is this? Anybody knowing? Yes, utter. This is also something which our business and several sectors are getting thoroughly comfortable with. They know the thing. Doing it is different. What is this? Hey, come on. If somebody must be knowing it.
Plan, do, check, act, cycle, sir.
That's it. I'm not asking who is that. Plan, do, check, act. Right? And that is a circle, in this manner, in a cycle it goes. So they will do like that. Plan, do, check, act. Everything hinges on there. They will never deviate. Generally, these line managers rotated frequently with weak process knowledge, supported by deeply knowledgeable technical staff. And line managers are extended assignments with deep process knowledge, lacking the need for extensive staff support. Either anything you don't, we do not know. The department is the knowledgeable department. जो जानता है वही करेगा. Why? Managers developed through formal education, often ex-company management schools, consulting firms, or sink or swim rotations. Manager developed through in-company Gemba learning through repeated. This is what it is. It is this. You call it tool, you call it method, you call it whatever you feel like. Analysis, problem-solving approach, embedding PDCA. Very difficult, right? PDCA, even in our country, it is not easy. But it is so easy. It is conceptually so appealing. Whosoever is doing it, well, good. They are enjoying. A. Decision made far from the point of value creation. Lean will not allow you this. Conference room management. Their decision take there. Value is created in the lecture room by somebody, a faculty. But we are talking the whole discussion on the course. The course this is taking place in the conference room. Maybe those persons are not by analyzing data. Go, see, ask why, show respect. They just show respect. Yesterday, there was a person with whom I had to interact. And then in that interaction, I asked, he mentioned that he had been to a 2-week study tour, 2-week visit. His company had sent him to Toyota company. So we had to ask him, I had asked him that one thing what you have seen, tell us. One thing that have struck you by your this 2 weeks visit which company had sent you. The company had sent you with a purpose. So what is it that you would like to tell? The man was very intelligent man and very he was knowledgeable. He has a wide experience. And then this man says, and we all loved it, sir, what I have observed is that respect for people. He used this term. We have all heard about this term. Toyota is famous for respect for people. He says, if I have to only one term, there's respect for people. And he said, I couldn't make out who is the boss, who is the subordinate. Everybody giving respect to the others. So that also we are, when in our normal visit there, we will call you Mitra-san, this san, like that. And it only goes to show that a nation's culture can change. Japanese have shown culture can change. A nation's culture, which is a culture was a fascinating culture today. So much of respect, humility, and everything. Whereas even during the time when this was where Toyota company, the textile company was formed, and later on, even they were quite a cruel nation. Whole thing has changed. So that goes to show how change can be brought by any institute. Forget the country to its here. Here is an example of a country. And as educators, try to see those, try to understand how from the childhood, this respect of people. We are told by respect of people by many things. नमस्कार करो ये करो लेकिन देखते नहीं but उधर में देखना ए बच्चे the kid he will bow down and that absolutely kid but that is it and every job how they do that how they are built up it's important for all educators to understand those processes. Problem solving and improvement conducted by staff often through programs by people who are all responsible for this thing. This is by others, often through programs. Hey, it's part of the whole thing. Standardization of activities conducted by staff. Standardization of all conducted by line managers. By line managers means people who are on doing it in collaboration with work teams. Go fast. W word, go fast. Do it now, if not yesterday. Go slow as a general mandate. I think we are somewhat still here, though many of our corporates are trying to do this, jump to solutions with the consequence of going slow to the complete cycle, product and process development, launch and fulfillment. Start a course. They are doing it. So we also will do it. Breakneck speed may develop the course, get it approved, and get all the necessary compliances, and start it, get the students. But you're not. If you do not get the student, whole thing has gone forward. Please remember all these things. These are all things which are realities which is happening. Go fast, and then you'll end up with a problem. Do this course, introduce that, this, everything. And then quietly you withdraw. You have failed. And such lessons of failure leaves a very, very bad taste with every actors in that process. Start with the problem, consider many potential countermeasures in parallel with higher cost and more time at the beginning, followed by lower cost. Cost. Higher cost, beginning higher cost, stop it. Less time, happier customers at the end. I believe. We do not believe in this. No? The beginning higher cost, stop it. Hey, there is a cost incurring. N number of times I am seeing this. Even now, today, right away, we are seeing the whole thing. Problems, huh? This is we have many things to, but then we have to do. That's as simple as that. Strong emphasis on vertical flow authority, looking upward towards CEO or towards boss. Performance usually evaluated at single points. Strong emphasis on horizontal flow of value. Performance evaluated in optimizing the whole process. The best. Control reconciled with flexibility. Modern management isn't conducive to creating sustainable lean enterprise. We need to transit through PDCA. Now, have only a very just a value creating work management, that is a strategy deployment. Only look at a sample. This is how it looks. You don't have to look at this. This is only thing you look at it. You can't read it. You can't make that out. I mean, I'll just read it for you. Anything, any situation. Suppose a course design getting delayed. So you write down the background. You write a background. You try to write it in as less words as possible. Everything to be punctual. This is known as A3 problem solving. This is an A3 sheet. One exercise if you do, friends. Is there any ladies here? So that I could have said ladies and gentlemen, because I love to say this when I'm discussing this, that this is known as a A3 sheet. This is an A3 size sheet. I was dumbstruck. In one A3 sheet, you have to put everything. Oh, two A4 sheets where you have to put everything. Here it is in one A3 sheets, you have to put everything. Every country is desperately trying to learn this. One Tata companies had done wonderful work and had shown me this. First time when I saw Indian company. So now, background you to write, and they say to put pictures. And they say many of the Indian companies, they put such horrible pictures that you even if you're smiling, your smile will go. So then the current conditions, what is the current situation? Hey, the project curriculum getting delayed, or the whole course design getting delayed. What is the solution? There is only one solution in our country. Go and tell the director, and the director will call you and blast you, and then the next day the course design is over. Such a smart solution. Why do we need lean? This is how we operate. So, the solution is in a Indian Ziffy solution. No, it cannot. You cannot sustain. This is all hotspot. That is why you crash landed when you announce the course. So current situation, you detail. You understand your current situation. Then what do you want to achieve? The goals and the targets. This is goals and targets. You do analysis. If you do not do this, your whole thing, this thing will not happen. Then propose countermeasures. You've just heard this word, and then the next one is plan. This is then who has to do what and with what time, all those things, and then the following, the follow up. This is actually a typical A3 sheet. Do it on this. But you need to spend hell of a time. That is what they say. Training what? Train on what? Train on this thing, because this is actual problem getting addressed. Be it course design, be it why student enrollment is dropping, be it why student complaint is rising, that learning material support is not correct, is deficient. This is how it is done. Okay, so those are all. Now the last one, I would put a situation. I had other sets of slides, but well, time constraint is there. But only thing is, this is, think about it. Think about and dialogue with Professor Datta. If such things are needed, but this is slightly difficult to on an online mode to talk about this thing, this topic, this particular topic. But still, everything may be possible. My last situation is a 10 minutes or 5 minutes thing, and then with this we will go on exploring with this slides. Or not a slide, it is actually This is a situation. I would have loved to spend time on this situation, because this situation, many probable solutions are generated. Go back and you can think, and you can, whatever one-liner, two-liner, or 3-4 lines, or whatever you can in your mind, you can think of what questions you will ask, all these things. This is all actually that this situation will help you to understand. Bit by bit, you understand things. But I thought, let me share this situation with you, so that you are left with something to chew upon once you are back. Several teaching staff observed that their ability to meet curriculum delivery goals are diminishing annually. And first of all, you must tell me whether such a situation you have also seen or encountered, maybe here in your organization or in your past organization, in your career. Several teaching staff observed their ability to meet curriculum goals diminishing annually. Every year, it is reducing. The staff members are seasoned teachers. They all know they are all seasoned teachers. They could not attribute their failure to complete the curriculum to any sudden student-related challenges. The students of the students of this year are absolutely useless, so they are only nothing like that. No student-related factors are. They know that. All were highly organized individuals who developed and faithfully followed a curriculum delivery plan that had provided for successful completion of the goals in previous years. In the previous years, they have all met their goals. Not that they have never met it. No, they have met it. They are seasoned teachers, they are seasoned faculties. Yet several remarked that over the past 3 years, they had to cut out more and more of the enrichment and extension activities that were part of their curriculum in order to just cover basic material superficially. That means they have to cover the basic material, so you are unable, so you cut on these others. They are doing it, feeling unhappy, but they are doing it. Each also expressed concern that in the current state, they were unable to provide students with enough applied practice to facilitate mastery of the skills taught. First, do you face such a situation? Have you seen such a situation, yes or no? Or similar situations? Yes or no? I don't think this is a very out of the way situation. You will encounter such a situation. I have myself encountered such a situation. Now, what could be, how do you go about? Now give me 1 or 2 clues only. There is no single path, but give me clue. And I am talking in terms of lean. So what you will do? What possible? 5 minutes max, we will discuss. Time is now running short. This needs complete 1 hour or 1.5 hours discussion, because each steps a group. This is actually done in groups. Each thing you state then that has to be discussed. 2-3 groups, 2-3 concepts. What is the first thing which is, what could be the possible reasons? Now I am telling you the possible reasons are, okay, tell me a couple of possible reasons. Why are they unable to complete the curriculum delivery? What could be some possible, just off the cuff? There is nothing known as good or bad or right or wrong. Off the cuff. Yes, please. Pandey, kuch to bolo. Anything. Roy, kuch to bolo. Paap chup. 5 baj gaya.
Sir, can I say?
Yes.
Sir, there might be a couple of reasons, as I experienced as a teacher. Number one is teachers are overburdened with a lot of other activities, academic, administrative activities. They are into promotion, they are into admission, they are into a lot of other non-academic activities, which eating up their time. That's number one. Second, lot of the thrust on doing project, doing consultancy work, doing some industry sponsored project and research. And that's why earlier we had two different kind of institution. One is teaching institution, another one is research based institution. I think no faculty somehow they're not finding enough time. The third point is somehow I feel that the lesson plan or the curriculum is made in such a way that some of the concepts which can be taught or which students can learn by themselves. As a teacher, we need not teach everything A B C D to the students. I think the difficult part, majority can be the self-taught part. We can tell them to please study at home and get back with the question and the queries. And as a teachers, as we can work as a mentor and clarify the questions. That's number one. And second, another possible solution might be, and I have seen in some places, as a part of a single course, they have some industry practitioner who will be bringing real-time experiences along with the academic inputs, rich academic or research-based inputs. I think if we can have such measures in place, I think most likely we can address this problem.
It is a very good attempt, I must say. And just off the cuff, I said off the cuff bolo, and you have off the cuff you have stated. However, in realities, if this is a problem, then you have to go in a methodical manner. That means, you have to go to that. Where you have to go? Can anybody tell me if this is a situation? How do I go about it? Background analysis, goal target. Right now we saw something. What was that? We saw something. In the previous slides we saw. What was that? We saw problem solving approach. What was that approach? Known as
PDCA cycle, sir.
And which size of paper? Paper
A3,
size.
A3 size.
A3 problem solving. It is the steps which are elaborated there. So you go step by step like that. They would like to go. They have tried like this. This is almost a reality. This is a learning. This is an example. Now they tried to analyze the why part of it, and they came out with. This is only a very, very broad thing which we will do because of only time limitation and because we are not doing it in groups. This is actually left to the groups and then deliberated upon. Interruptions take place. You remember there is a concept of try to remember. It is not very easy. I mean we have jumped through many things. That flow. Everything should happen in a flow. So what stops flow are interruptions. So in this particular case also, they found out interruptions. There are several interruptions in as you also rightly mentioned, there must be something distractions or some administrative jobs, or the students are going for placement interview, or for this thing, or for that thing. Now, one thing is, if you come out with in a non-lean environment, if you find out that, sir, these are what is causing them, that curriculum delivery is not getting complete, the goals are not getting achieved. This is the reason. Oh, the dictum goes. Okay, but don't ask them not to do that. Or some visit that the students are going, and then some visits are taking place somewhere. They have to do some presentations or like that. Ask them not to do that. The moment you start thinking that, well, that means these were all non-planned, or even if it is planned, badly planned. So stop it. Right? So great thing. No interruptions. Are why are they causing interruptions? How many interruptions? What are the nature of interruptions? Collect data. And then there will be another group saying, how much collect data? One day, today, we know everything. It is our thing. We are all seasoned teachers. We know things. There is no need to collect data. No.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Dr. Vichakoti. Sir, whatever my way of thought, or whatever I feel, that today with the academics, we are going away from the main academic, the focus. Means earlier we are going to focus over the academic delivery of all this, because a faculty has to do lots of other dimensions. One dimension is the coming from the private college or whatever I can feel, the admission part. Another college is coming to you the fees correction when the students are not, that is also coming to the department, the faculty. Another part is coming when there is a training or all those liaison with the training team to department. That is also there. We have to also some 360-degree feedback of ICT. Every quarter we have to leave one atoll, one swarm course, one publications. And all those turmoil, all those things, whatever my way of last 23 years I've been teaching academic or whatever line. So whatever we are now, I am also doing an across hierarchy, but actually we are moving away from the main nucleus. That's from the study. That automatically the time management or whatever we trying to do, but automatically we are going to a multitask engine. When you are going to a multitask engine, automatically the central focus, the nucleus, that we are deviating. Sharing my view and
Absolutely
thought.
correct.
So that's not a thing.
No,
That is
no,
a thing inside.
just listen. Now, there will be so many thoughts which is coming. So how do I tackle so many ideas, so many thoughts? That is why I told you now that A3 problem solving approach is a disciplined problem solving approach, because there are so many issues which are there to be addressed. How do I address so many issues at once, at the same time? Therefore, there steps of, there are certain methodology in which PDCA is one of the proven methodologies. If you move, because what you correctly said,
I tackle over
there are so
myself.
many
I believe that the
aspects
Kaizen
of
cycle, Kaizen concept is a very much practical for any organization. Also, it is used if you can apply the Kaizen over also. So our way of thought process to develop continuous improvement. But still, all those multi-dimensional things are coming day by day, and all are coming to department faculty. They're kind of a binding block or kind of a break for the academic development or research work or to further research. That kind of thing is coming. That's the way, there is a kind of a maybe erosion from, we are doing lots of things, lots of branding is there, all those things are there. But ultimately the focus from there we are deviating. It's my think of my experience, whatever I am sending to you.
And sorry, sir, again disturb you. I think the management should also look into it. The management is basically not looking into things. They only want they are looking into the from the teaching. They doesn't have anything from the teaching aspects. They want it only matters to them what is the admission numbers that is coming in, and they are not concerned about what if as a faculty what research work we should do. Right, so that's happening. So that is I think also it's one main concern. So when we are talking about lean manufacturing, that awareness should be also be there with the management also.
Ekdam, correct you are. Leadership, first thing is leadership's thinking has to change. Leadership buy-in has to be there.
Because sir, whatever principal, vice principal are holding post, we are the employees of the organization. We are not the Malik, we are not the owner. The owner of the particular college, those group of people, those things are to look into. I talk in the private sector. But we are doing, but we are having time. We are just following certain directions. Little tolerance can be done. But total oxygen cannot be given from our end because lots of praises are coming from our end from the top level of the or the particular management. That's the sort of thing I am facing.
Agree?
It is a suffocating environment for me also. But still, we have to survive. We have to exist in this world. We have to do something. We have to move on to the extent possible to improve the thing.
I agree with whatever all of you are saying. But again, there is another challenge. How in the specifically in the post-pandemic situation now, when there is a decrease in the maybe an enrollment, admission per student we cannot increase. Those are many challenges which any educational institute, especially the professional ones, are encountering. And faculty is a kingpin in the whole thing, and faculty has to be motivated. Without them, an academic institute cannot make any progress. Fine. Under that setting, if such a situation is arising, that now how do I go about? That is the challenge. And the challenge, of course, have to be accepted by the top leadership, the management of the institute. But the steps, actually what happened here in this particular case, because time is running short, in this particular case, the interruptions were studied, number of interruptions were found out, they ran into hundreds. Many reasons were there. Then finally, which interruptions can be eliminated, which activities can be now combined, everything went on. They did it. But the worst part of it, which is actual reality, which many of you are saying, having done all these things, the management of that institute finally said, we cannot move ahead with this recommendations. Because they were slightly hesitant, because they took a back step. The whole learning was lean is actually to be initiated by the top leadership of any institute. Otherwise, lean is not possible.
Correct. This is the only thing. Final higher authority must understand that, and then only it can be implemented. We can get the juice of the benefit of the same,
Yep.
and for the betterment of the organization. There's the only thing what I think. The top level management.
Yes.
Then only it can be
Yes.
implemented across the hierarchy.
Can I say a word? Can I?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I'm Pradeep Kumar. I'm from Hyderabad. Regarding lean philosophy or lean principles in education, I would like to focus on the question of what is value and who is the customer. Is the customer the employer of the students, or are the students the customers? The second is, if we consider employee as the customer and students are the products of the institute, then what is the process and where is the process being done? The process is being done in the classroom, and it is like an assembly line where you're adding part by part to the student and checking whether the part is fitted. Okay. Then at the end, you're checking whether the whole thing is functioning or not. You just you start an engine and then say, okay, it is functioning or not. Okay. So if that is the view that you would like to take, then lean principles can be applied much better. So where is the waste taking place? So you is the classroom itself. What is the waste that is going on? What is excess production or early production? Okay, why is any repetition is being done? Why some students are failing? What are the tools used for transferring knowledge by the teacher to the student? The productivity, etc., lies within that scope. I think administrative things are important. But I think in the overall picture, the administrative factors are, I think, little secondary. You've also focused, sir, that initially you said cost. So how do you say cost? So cost means cost per hour of classroom, the teacher's cost, the classroom cost. Okay. So depending on the number of students you have, divided by that, you can say cost per student. So the lean principles, I feel, can be more focused if we look at the process of developing the students, okay, adding value to the students. That's where I think the value
Good, good.
principles are, etc. is there.
Very good. Pradeep, your background, little bit.
I'm an engineer. I worked in the industry. Then I moved to I'm now moving to the academics, and I teach lean manufacturing. So I'm trying to experiment myself certain lean principles in education. So I don't mind. I'm open to collaboration. I can work with any of you to develop the philosophy of lean in education.
Needed, Pradeep, it is needed. I mean, you're rightly focused on the core of the whole lean in education, students value addition in the student development process. So let us hope. This is the. It's in India. It's a great challenge to have lean practices gradually introduced in our. If it doesn't, then well, our cost remains high. We are always. Told the anything Indian means the cost is high, but we do not know why the cost is high. Where we cut, and we cut it into such areas where it affects our own operation, without applying mind cost
Thank you so
analysis.
much for reaction,
Great,
sir.
great to know.
Mass production,
Mm,
and there is something called
mm.
batch production. Okay. What's being done in classes today is batch production, where if the number of students are more, it is the cost comes down. That doesn't mean that you are just producing them. That is where the quality of education is poor.
True.
Lean says it has to be individual focus. You need to bring in that individual focus to the students. So I mean, there's a lot of things to do. I look forward to some sort of a collaboration.
Yes. By Professor Datta, please take a note of what Pradeep Kumarji is
Yes, sir.
saying. It's good. It
Yes,
has
sir.
to be actually translated into kind of a small kind of a. Later on, it has to be into kind of a movement type. I mean, that is what what every country is trying to do. I understand China also did something like this, though it's very difficult to get information. But I used to get information about how China is doing things. They are a damn clever nation, extremely clever nation. And American things are everything open. They are also trying to do. British, same. Europe maybe slightly differently way doing it. But great, Pradeep Kumar, knowing you, and let us stay in touch. That's the most important thing.
Thank you so much.
You can get my numbers from Professor Datta, and then we can keep it. We can keep we can touch base with each other.
Sure.
And well, great. Anybody else like to say any other ideas or words, thoughts? You sit down, and once you start working, many are saying that yes, it is the management's responsibility. Yes, it is. Nothing wrong in it. But you need a basic understanding of what lean is about and relating it in the context of the own organization. That's a powerful word. Lean in my organization's context, what it should be. How should I look at it? It takes time. Today we just opened up a little bit. We just wanted to show you certain blocks. So I was wondering what to do, because as Pradeep rightly said, It's evolved. It's evolved from the craft manufacturing to mass manufacturing to lean, and then to question mark, and then like that. And then what was the lessons learned? And can education take learnings from those lessons? Yes, they can. And then how do we put all those blocks in a single template, and then look at, in my organization, I can work on this like this way, in this method. The tough initiative. Always remember, lean is not an easy initiative. It's a very, very tough initiative.
But
Well,
what I've taken from the lecture is empowerment. Lean is all about empowerment of staff and empowerment of students. That's what I would pick up. I think it's been a great lecture. But I think also strong leadership is necessary to carry this out in organizations.
yes, absolutely right you are. Absolutely correct, right you are. So it's 5 to end. So I think with the permission of all of you, we didn't have enough discussion. We wanted to have discussion. We can, if Professor Datta gives some time, we can continue, or if the time is not there, and we knew this will be difficult to time management will be a factor. I personally wanted to have more. For example, the discussions of Pradeep Kumar, the discussions earlier also of the my colleagues here, they're all meaningful. It started happening, and this exercise would have been a very good way of understanding and discussing things. But as they say, there is always a next time. So let us wait for the next time, and the world becomes a better place to live. So thank you very much, here, Professor Datta. Anything you do want?
Thank you so much, sir. And so we come to end of today's program. On behalf of MTC Global and Dhaka International University, this is a joint international FDP program. I extend my heartfelt thanks to all the participants and our good friend from UK for joining this program.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Please keep in touch. And thanks a lot to the resource person for today's program, Mr. Avik Mitra sir, for wonderful sharing on different aspects, how we can implement the lean philosophy in education. Thank you, Rajesh Pandey, Dr. Rajesh Pandey, my good friend, Dr. Abhijit Chakravarti sir, whom I know, Pradeep Kumar sir, and Dr. Alok is there from Delhi, and Soumendra Roy and other participants for sharing their views. And let us keep in touch. Our WhatsApp group still active. It will remain active until all the e-certificates are sent as per the program protocol. And we can keep in touch definitely. And I would like to make one small announcement. We have our forthcoming program starting on 24th July on Six Sigma Green Belt. And if anyone is interested, we have special package for the students, especially BA and MBA students. We have rolled out this program for the MBA students, and it was successful. I'll share the feedback link in the WhatsApp group for today's IFDP. Kindly please share your views so that we can always improve on our activities. As rightly said, the biggest room in this world is the room for the improvement. Thank you once again. Thanks a lot. And let's keep in touch. Thank you.
Thank you.